Guys, we have multiple breaking news coming out. We're going to start with this one first. The Pentagon warns Venezuela after Nicolas Maduro jets fly near US Navy ship. It says here today, two Maduro military aircraft flew near a US Navy vessel in international waters. This highly provocative move was designed to interfere with our counter narco terror operations. The gang running Venezuela is strongly advised not to pursue any further effort to obstruct, deter, or interfere with counter narcotics and counter terror operations carried out by the US military. Wow. So I went live 2 hours ago and we talked about the Venezuelan F-16, which, by the way, the thing was loaded. It had missiles and flew past the USS Jason warship. All right, so give me a second here. I want to bring this one up. All right, so it says Venezuelan F-16s with missiles fly low over U.S. destroyers. Now, this was international waters. All right, so international airspace. And this thing was loaded. And by the way, these F-16s that Venezuelans have, well, they purchased this back in 1983. All right, so there were two of them out there. And now the U.S. is sending a warning message not to do it again. We do have some more breaking news coming out, guys. Let me show you some of this stuff here. This is huge. The U.S. Secretary of Defense said the U.S. President orders preparation to deter Russia and China. The U.S. preparing for biblical war. All right, guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters, a prayer request, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. And for those of you that want to contribute to the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also description box. Thank you again for your support. All right, so let's start with, let me show you some of this stuff first, and then we're going to get to the news article. Okay, breaking news here, guys. The mysterious object dubbed 3I/Atlas is heading towards Mars. All right, so we're going to get to all this news here, guys. Also, there was a massive military operation. Ukrainian suicide drones just struck a Russian oil depot in the Luhansk region. Also, Russia just announced that there is a gas shortage. So their economy is not looking really good. Also, guys, this Sunday is going to be a huge event, spectacular. There's going to be signs of the heavens, the blood moon, to rise during total lunar eclipse Sunday night. Also, a powerful Ukrainian strike just hit the oil refinery in Luhansk region. That's the one I just showed you. That's a big hit too. Okay, so let's see what's going on with this news first, guys. All right, so the U.S. Commander-in-Chief directs Pentagon to prepare for military restructuring against the Red Dragon and the Bear. But before I start, I want to wish my wife happy anniversary. September 5th, 2025. Excuse me, September 5th, 2011. That's our 14 years anniversary together. So happy anniversary to my beautiful wife, Jessica Santiago. We've been together for 14 years, and we got married in 2016. And the Lord had blessed us with beautiful children and amazing marriage, and praying for many, many more wonderful years. So happy anniversary to my beautiful wife, Jessica Santiago. All right, so it says here the U.S. commander has directed the Pentagon to be ready to deter the Red Dragon and the Bear if required, signaling preparation for a large-scale transformation of the American armed forces. So basically, they're preparing. They're preparing for worst-case scenario. And again, I see a lot of people just talking about this news. A lot of people just sharing the information here. Again, I see someone just post a video, breaking news. The U.S. president orders U.S. military to prepare for potential world war. All right, so to many of you, again, a lot of people might find that like a, fear-mongering title, but it's not. The U.S. is preparing, just like Europe. They are preparing. All right, so everyone is preparing, and the Bible says that in the end times, nation against nation will rise. It will rise. It says here, speaking to Fox News on September 3rd, the U.S. Secretary of Defense, Pete, confirmed that he had received an order from the U.S. commander to begin planning for a major restructuring of the military. That is why the U.S. president has charged us at the Department of Defense to be prepared to rebuild our military and reestablish deterrence. Not because we seek conflict, and we've been clear about that with China, Russian, and others, Pete stated. So once again, we are definitely seeing some preparation here. We are definitely seeing something here. At the same time, the U.S. commander accused, once again, the Red Dragon, the Bear in North Korea, of conspiring against the U.S. He made the claim as Chinese leader presided over a massive military parade marking the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II and Japan's surrender. Now, you guys already know the reason why they surrender is because we helped out. We intervened, we helped out, we dropped two. We dropped the Fat Boy, and I forget the name of the other one. That was back in 1945. The U.S. commander did not elaborate on what he meant by conspiring, but reminded that the U.S. played a decisive role in liberating the Red Dragon from foreign occupation during the war. Earlier, the Red Dragon leader, the Bear leader Vladimir, and North Korean leader Kim appeared side by side in the Red Dragon capital on Wednesday at a grand military parade commemorating the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II. Okay, so once again, the U.S. is preparing. The U.S. is preparing for a major war. And the president has deployed National Guard to Chicago. So we are seeing Chicago. We also seeing Washington, D.C. Troops are going to stay till December 31st, 2025. Now we're going to go with this next news. All right, let me show you the title really quick here. Once again, please share the video. Most importantly, give the video a thumbs up. Also, leave comments down below. What do you think about the Venezuelan F-16s flying over the U.S. warship? Do you think they're wrong for doing that? Leave comments down below. It did happen in international water, international airspace. It says here, warning issued after DOD says Nicholas planes flew near U.S. Navy. Let's see what's going on with this one here. The U.S. Department of Defense, pretty soon that name is going to be changed to Department of War, on Thursday issued a new warning that the gang running Venezuela should not interfere with counter operation after two Nicholas aircraft flew near a U.S. Navy vessel, according to the U.S. Commander Administration. Now, the U.S. conducted a kinetic military strike in the southern Caribbean against a boat that the administration says was tied to Venezuelan link of the gang cartel Tren de Araguay. I think those are two separate gangs, though. I think those are two that, again, this gang here, these are like the Mexicans. And then this one here is the Venezuelans. But it seems like these two are working together. I mean, they just work together and with this DRUGS operation, bringing them to the sleeping giant in the U.S. This, excuse me, the State Department previously designated the gang as a foreign T organization. Now it says here, the blast comes amid heightened U.S.-Venezuelan tensions after the U.S. expanded naval deployments near Venezuelan waters. Now the recent moves have prompted warnings from the Venezuelan President Nicolas and other officials, raising questions on the scope and legal basis of American operation in the region. So in a post to X, the DOD said today 2 of the Venezuelan leader Nicolas military aircraft flew near a U.S. Navy vessel in international waters. This highly provocative move was designed to interfere with our counter operation. The gang running Venezuela is strongly advised not to pursue any further effort to obstruct, deter, or interfere with counter narcotic and counter-terror operation carried out by the U.S. The news first reported that 2 armed Venezuelan F-16 fighter jets flew over the USS Jason on Thursday, citing multiple DOD officials. Now it says here, the U.S. Commander-in-Chief on Truth Social Tuesday said earlier this morning, on my orders, the U.S. military forces conducted a kinetic strike against positively identified Tren de Araguay in the Southcom area of responsibility. Now, the gang is a designated foreign T organization operating under the control of Nicolas, responsible for mass, you know what, and all these other lawlessness operation across the U.S. and Western Hemisphere. The strike occurred while the gang were at sea in international waters, transporting some product heading to the U.S. The strike resulted in 11 taken out in action. No U.S. forces were harmed in this strike. Please let this serve as notice to anybody even thinking about bringing those products into the sleeping giant. Beware. Thank you for your attention to this matter. He really sent a message on that one there. So you have the Democratic Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania on X Wednesday said, fully support confronting the scourge of the gang to our nation. So what happens next? Well, it says here, additional responses from Venezuela or regional gov regarding the strike are immediately unknown. You have the news also asked the DOD if any action was taken after the planes allegedly flew near the U.S. Navy. Wow. So we are definitely seeing some stuff here. So let me take it back here. I want to show you some of this stuff. So the Department of Defense, pretty soon I think they're going to change that name to Department of War. So this is what they said. Today, 2 Nicolas regime military aircraft flew near a U.S. Navy vessel in international water. This highly provocative move was designed to interfere with our counter operation. The gang running Venezuela is strongly advised not to pursue any further effort to obstruct, deter, or interfere with counter operation carried out by the U.S. military. All right. I'm skipping certain words here, guys. But yeah, they're being warned. So this is the one right here. So the Venezuelan aircraft flew over the Jason Dunham, the Berg class guided missile destroyer. It's one of several American warships deployed off Venezuela, conducting counter, and other operation. It says here, two armed. So this thing had missiles. Two armed Venezuelan fighter jets flew over the USS Jason Thursday, with Pentagon official calling it a deliberate provocations in the South Caribbean. Now, the guided missile destroyer didn't engage. And let's say they would have fired something towards the U.S. ship. Yeah, that would have been game over for them. The flyover comes 2 days after U.S. forces struck a boat allegedly carrying some product. 11 were taken out. The U.S. commander and Rubio claim were the gang's members. Nicholas called the U.S. ship a criminal and threat, deploying drones and ships along Venezuela's coast as U.S. commander doubles the bounty on him to $50 million. All right. So let's go with the next news, guys. We're going to go with this one here. The mysterious object dubbed 3I/Atlas is headed towards Mars. All right, let's see what's going on here. Once again, give this video a like, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So earlier this year, astronomers spotted a mysterious interstellar visitor, widely believed to be a comet, screaming into our solar system. With the help of NASA's James Webb Space Telescope, astronomers recently got a closer look at the object, dubbed 3I Atlas, that revealed an unexpectedly high ratio of carbon dioxide to water for a comet, as well as a highly irradiated ice core. Ever since astronomers spotted the object, you have Mr. Loeb has suggested the tantalizing possibility that it could be a relic from an extraterrestrial civilization that was sent towards the inner solar system by design. So Loeb believes that this is some kind of UFO or spaceship or something. The backup, his far-fetched theory, Loeb has pointed out that 3I Atlas' highly unusual trajectory brings it suspiciously close to Jupiter, Mars, and Venus. In a new blog post, the astronomer pointed out that the object will continue within just 1.67 miles of Mars' path around the sun, and what he characterized as a remarkable fine turning of the object path. To Loeb, it's an exceedingly rare and exciting opportunity to directly observe it using NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. But whether it will come up with a plan in time for a blind date between 3I Atlas and the red planet remains to be seen. it's theoretically possible that we could see an even more dramatic interaction between the object and Mars in a new paper. Now, Loeb and his colleague Adam found that just a small nudge, an orbit correction by 6.2, 9.3 miles per second during the month of September 2025 could cause the mysterious object to collide with the red planet itself. However, the ejection of icy fragments from the surface of a natural comet could only account for a fraction of such a correction. That would be huge if this thing smashed towards planet Mars. I mean, that would be again amazing. You know, that would be you would see many nations sending their probe out there. Yeah, it seems like this is all of it for this one here. But give me a second here, guys. There's so many advertisements. I gotta remove this. I gotta remove that one. Okay, perfect. Yeah, it seems like that's all of it for this one here. All right. So November is around the corner. This thing is getting closer and closer. Give me a second here. Let me just save this one really quick. Okay, we're going to go with the next news. It seems like that's all of it for now, but give me a second here. Let me go back on X. Look at this one here. The US commander to Europe. Defend yourselves. We're out. The US is cutting back security money for countries right on Russia's border like Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, basically telling them to cover more of their own defense bills. The program only runs until September 2026, and the U.S. commander team says they won't extend it. Why? Because of his America First plan, which means fewer handouts abroad. Now, the blue, the left, say this is a dumb move that puts NATO allies and the U.S. troops who fought alongside them at risk. Once again, the White House shrugs and says Europe turn to pay up. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's time for them to pay up. I want to bring this one up too. Russia offers talk with U.S. over nuclear fuel at Zaporizhzhia. Oh, so this is where the nuclear plant is at. That's where that power plant is at. So it says here Russia signal readiness to discuss U.S. nuclear fuel stored at Crane's Russian-controlled Zaporizhzhia power plant, according to state media. Now, Moscow had earlier asked the UN nuclear watchdog to mediate between the two sides on handling the fuel. Rosatom chief Alexei said the issue remains unresolved as the plant sits under the Russian control. The talks will mark a rare channel for dialogue between Washington and Moscow on nuclear material inside an active conflict zone. All right, give me a second here. Guys, we have to bring this up. We need to talk about this here. the Donald, Zuckerberg, and Bill, Gates. Why Donald? Why? They were also discussing some stuff like the prune juice and many other things. Why Donald? And a lot of people are asking questions. Why is Donald dining with Bill and all them? Give me a second here. Bill, alongside the U.S. commander and the wife, said he is in talk with the U.S. commander about the prune juice and gene editing. He explained that the goal is to take the sleeping giant innovation to the next level, with hopes of curing and even eradicating most pestilence. Bill said his work would change the world. There you go. There you go. So what are your thoughts, guys? I mean, very important people in this round table here. I mean, the kitchen, not the kitchen, but the dining table. Hmm. Um. Okay. So let me just go with the next news here, guys. We do have some breaking news, guys, about this storm here. All right, so let's go with this storm here. And it seems like that new storm that is building up, it seems like there's a possibility this thing might slam, possibly, the Sunshine State. All right, so there's been a lot of talks about this one here. And thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Thank you again for your support. Make sure you check out the videos I posted today. Those links will be in the description box. Thank you again for your support. All right, give me a second here. Let me go on X. I mean, not X. I want to take it to the USGS really quick. Okay, there's not much going on here. Not much going on. Yeah, that's not much going on. Let's skip this one here. I'm trying to see if I can find any more information here, guys. And again, thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. Everybody's really talking about Donald and and Gates and Zuckerberg. Give me a second here. Breaking: Gate, Mark, Tim, and Google just went to the White House to have dinner with the U.S. Commander-in-Chief. The billionaires are all kissing the ring. Wow. Mm. Here's another one, guys. Here's another image of this storm that's building up. Wow. That thing seems like it's heading straight towards Florida. Now 90% chance of development on invest hashtag 91L. But there is an unusual large amount of uncertainty with both the level of development intensity and also the eventual track. At this point, all that can be known with any certainty is that the lesser Attils will need to be on alert in about a week from now. In the longer term, honestly, all bets are off. May swing north, may turn west, eventually may just dissipate. The National Hurricane Center has no track yet because it has not formed yet. Give me a second here. Let me take you to the National Hurricane Center. So that's the one. %90 chance. Yep. I'm sorry, guys. I'm still looking for more information here. Let me go on some of these other news. Yeah, it seems like this is all the information here. I'm not seeing much. Yeah, I'm not seeing much. Beside this here, I want to bring this one up really quick. I'm not going to read the article. I'm just going to show you some glimpse here. Satellite photos capture U.S. Navy fleet approaching Venezuela. All right, so let me show you some of these pictures they just released. These are satellite imagery. September 3rd. September 1st. This is Puerto Rico. So you have the C-17 Globemaster 3 and P-8 Poseidon. They are out there parked. Here's another one, Puerto Rico. This is a V-22 Osprey. You have two of them. Wow. All right, guys. Give me a second here. I'm not seeing much information here, but yeah, this is where we at right now. This is where we at. So this is what U.S. President said. Look at this one here. US president said, I settle 7 wars, but Ukraine is the toughest. I settled 7 wars, the one I thought would be maybe the easiest because of my relationship with Putin and with Ukraine, but turned out tougher. I thought it would be the Russia-Ukraine disaster. This week, 7,014 were taken out. We have a breaking news here. Nicolas Maduro activates nationwide communal militia network. Venezuelan leader Nicolas has announced the launch of first activation cycle of the communal militia unit, marking a major escalation in the country's defensive posture. Now it says here, for the first time in Venezuelan history, 5,636 communal circuits across the nation will see the deployment of localized militia forces, integrating citizens into the Bolivarian military structure. Nicholas framed the move as a defense of the homeland amid rising regional tensions and growing U.S. military presence in the Caribbean. Look at this one here. Hold on, let me bring this one up. The U.S. commander said, I prefer not to have a commune, mayor of New York City. I don't like to see a commune, become mayor. I would tell you that. And I don't think you can win unless you have one-on-one. Because somehow he's gotten a little bit of a lead. I have no idea how that happened. But I prefer not to have a commune mayor of New York City. And that's what he is based on his policy. If you look at his statements in the past. But it seems like the Big Apple is going to see something. And they're going to regret it. And it's going to be too late. All right, guys. Other than that, it seems like the Eagles beat the not New York. The Eagles beat the Dallas, if I'm not mistaken. But please don't riot in Philly, please. So, you got some military movement out there in the Caribbean. Not too far from Puerto Rico. We just talked about Puerto Rico too. All right, so again, this is where we are right now, guys. This is all the information here. Anyway, other than that, guys, I would keep you updated with these world news events, nation against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There's a lot of stuff going on in 2025, and nation against nation is building up. I'm just triple checking for anything else here, but it seems like this is all of it. Leave comments down below, guys. But the U.S. is preparing. They're getting ready, just like other countries are getting ready. France told all the hospitals out there to prepare for incoming events. Now Donald is telling the Pentagon to prepare to deter Russian and China. And at the same time, we do have the Caribbean is really hot. And still war is happening in Russia and Ukraine. Mideast, Gaza, you name it. Bible prophecy is happening right in front of our faces. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a good night. For those of you that want to send us letters, a prayer request, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.